afternoon, everybody. And a very, very warm welcome to everyone. As I was talking with board member Susan Alvaro as she arrived today, she said, you know, I don't think I've ever been to an event where we tried to bring the entire County Office of Education together. So this is a really memorable occasion, and we very, very much appreciate your taking time today to join us as we unveil our new strategic plan. So thank you very, very much. Today, Dr. Waddell and I are delighted to be sharing with you our new strategic plan for the County Office of Education. But before we begin that presentation, though, I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. James W. Cannon, Jr., who is currently serving as the president of the County Board of Education, who will extend a welcome. And as Mr. Cannon comes forward, I also want to introduce two of our county board members who have joined us today. We have Ms. Susan Alvaro and Mr. Rod Shaw. Mr. Cannon.
Well, I'm delighted to be here today to welcome you on behalf of the San Mateo County Board of Education to this major event for the future of our office. Our strategic plan is certainly the most significant and thorough planning that we've done in my 12 years on the Board of Education. And indeed, on a personal note, that I've been involved in over my 50 years in education, beginning with a Peace Corps Columbia strategic plan in 1967. Reading this plan makes me think of what we would call out as children in a neighborhood hide-and-seek game. Ready or not, here I come. Well, ready or not, change is here in education, we know that. And we can see from our plan that even more change is coming to San Mateo County and to the education of our students in San Mateo County. And this plan is a huge step in getting us ready for change. This is a huge project that's remarkably well done, and from the Board of Education, we want to say thank you, Superintendent Campbell, thank you, Fern Tiger and Associates, and thanks to all of you for taking part of this in this remarkable journey for the benefit of our San Mateo County children.
So as Board President Cannon observed, we are definitely living in times of incredible change. In fact, rapid change is the norm rather than the exception today. And so our new strategic plan needed to take into account the impact of changing times on the work that we all do. Just to provide you with a sense of how impactful change is on all of our lives, we would like to share a quick video that captures the intensity and extent of the changes that we confront as we work to make sure that all of our kids, every single one of them, is getting the very best education possible. So whether everything predicted in Did You Know becomes reality, we're going to have to wait and see for that. But if you think about kids who are in kindergarten and first grade today, that's about the time they're going to be leaving high school and moving out into the world of career and college. So think about the differences that this predicts. What is clear, though, is that the County Office of Education must embrace and respond to change if we are to remain relevant and substantive players on the stage of pre-K to 12th grade public education in San Mateo County. At the county office, we currently find ourselves at a crossroads. Education is undergoing a profound transformation. We are faced with many challenges. What are the implications of the new research on brain development and on how human beings learn? How can we leverage technology to help us do a better job of educating the global citizens that the video depicted? How do we in San Mateo County respond and participate in the national debate that is currently raging about race, achievement, and equity? As you ponder the impact of change, think back to 5 years ago. How many of you had heard of restorative justice, local control accountability plans, cochlear implants, the makers movement? Maybe the Did You Know video rings true after all. The rate of change continues to accelerate, and today we find ourselves at a crossroads where the actions that we take today will have enormous implications tomorrow. As you learn about our strategic plan today, you will see that we are redefining our strategic direction and recreating ourselves in response. We invite all of you, each and every one of you who is here today, to join us in reinventing who we will be as we move forward. We all share a common purpose: to create a San Mateo County Office of Education that meets the future as a thriving, evolving, positive organization. And now I'd like to welcome to the stage Dr. Waddell, who will share with you the theme for this year.
Thank you. It's very exciting to be here together today and have all of us in this space at this moment, kind of launching our future together. It is an exciting moment, a moment of imagination, listening, research about who we are that's really led us to today, and more importantly, who we will be in the future. There's nothing modest or small about the vision that we're going to talk about today. We believe that we have everything it takes to change things, to change outcomes for our students, to find new and better ways of working together, to imagine and build a tomorrow that is better than today. So as we've begun this work, and as we launch our strategic plan that will guide us over the next 5 years or so, we want to focus our work also around an annual theme that will help us to describe and define the work that we have each year. So it seemed apropos this year that our theme would be open doors. So as you came in, you might have noticed some pictures of doors around the world. You might have noticed some quotes about doors, and why are we seeing these? Well, they were really to prompt our thinking for this moment. So what we're going to do is raise the lights and give just a couple of minutes for you and an elbow partner to contemplate or imagine what the theme open doors might possibly mean to us in the year that we have ahead and the work before us. So I want you to spend just a couple of minutes imagining what that might mean in the context of your work, and then when you hear the chimes, you're going to finish your thought and come back together, and then we'll tell you what to do next. So spend a couple of minutes with that. You can tell we're all educators. We do that really well. Good job. So now I'd like to give you a couple of minutes to turn for the pair of you that we're talking to turn to a couple of people adjacent to you and share some of the ideas that you were talking about and see if there are commonalities or differences in what you came up with. We'll take a couple of minutes to do that. You guys are good at that. Very good. So I suspect that a lot of good ideas emerged about the potential for our work to open doors to the children and youth that we serve, to increase the knowledge and skills of the people that work with our children in their schools and districts, to think differently about the work that we do as a County Office of Education, how we connect and collaborate with one another, how we communicate, and that we're walking through a pathway to a new future for the San Mateo County Office of Education. I encourage you to see today as the initial opening of that door to create this new reality for the San Mateo County Office of Education that is really built on the strong traditions and the work of the people in this room, that's built and is happening because of, not in spite of, the work that we've done over the years that have led up to this point, that really trusts our collective imagination and commitment to imagining together what's through that next door.
So keep in mind that theme of open doors as we learn more about our new strategic plan today. We began the strategic planning process almost 2 years ago. We asked ourselves many questions, and you asked us many questions as well. Some of those questions included, who are we? Important question. What do we do? Why do we do it? What are we required by law to do? How can we be sure that we do that and everything else well? What do our stakeholders think about the County Office of Education and our work? Who do they think we should be in the future? We're looking at static funding for decades into the future, which means our resources that come to us through the state government are going to be absolutely flat. So what does that mean as we move forward into the future as far as revenue coming into the county office? How do we generate additional revenue to meet the kinds of programs that we want to offer? Those are just a few of the factors and questions that we asked. When we sifted through all of the input that we received from our internal, all of you stakeholders, and external stakeholders, a common theme emerged. San Mateo County Office of Education needs to do work that positively impacts the students, families, schools, and communities of our county, and we need to push our limits in terms of vision and in holding ourselves to high standards. One other thought about open doors as the theme for this year. In the employee surveys that many of you completed last spring, and thank you very much for taking the time to do it because it gave us tremendously valuable feedback, a consistent theme emerged regarding your perceptions of the county office. Many of you indicated that while you know the people in your immediate work area, you would like a better sense of the organization as a whole and of what everyone else does who works for the San Mateo County Office of Education. So today's the first step in that process, but we certainly hope over the next few years as we work on implementing the strategic plan that you will gain a better sense of our organization and of how we operate as a team. So to get that rolling, we're going to bring the house lights up a little bit, and we're going to do one more audience participation activity. And when each of the groups that I call out stands up, the rest of us are going to applaud them enthusiastically. So let's practice that. Let's practice. That's very good. Okay, so would you please stand up if you are involved in some capacity or another with our court and community school program? Woo! Thank you. How about at the K-12 site in San Bruno or in a special day classroom located in a school district? How about if you're involved with outdoor education, maybe you work at the CTE facility on Rollins Road with our foster youth? A shout out to Jones Gulch. It's great to see you guys here today. Welcome. And how about at 101 Twin Dolphin Drive? That's great. Thank you, everybody. So as you look around the room today, you can see that we fulfill many, many different roles. Now here we go. Okay, we are teachers, para-educators, support staff, content area experts, professional developers, administrative assistants, tech gurus, and thank you to our tech staff. You are indispensable to the work of the county office. Lori Owens, a shout out to you for that. Our facilities staff, business professionals, related service providers, and managers, to name just a few. But in the midst of all that variety and all the different things that we do, we are bound together by two key beliefs. One is that we need to push ourselves and one another to be the very, very best that we can be. And second, that we are absolutely and positively and unequivocally committed to working together to ensure equity in education throughout San Mateo County for all of the 95,000 students who are enrolled in our public schools. All right. You know, our county office has about 430 employees. 266 are classified and 164 are certificated. Our work spans 23 school districts with a K-12 enrollment of almost 95,000 students who attend 172 schools throughout our county, 12 of which are charter schools. And as the pictures, as they're flashing on the screen, amply demonstrate, we touch the lives in one way or another of every single student in San Mateo County. Perhaps it's through a teacher's paycheck, which people are getting today, which is a good thing. We generate every single teacher's paycheck in San Mateo County at the County Office of Education. Perhaps it's through helping through attending outdoor education at Jones Gulch as 5th or 6th graders. Did you know that right now we are on the 3rd generation of families who have attended outdoor ed, and we get letters from grandparents about what an amazing experience their grandkids have had? Perhaps, and certainly a shout out to Liz Wolf and her team, it's through helping our districts as they develop their local control accountability plans. Did you know that last year our amazing LCAP team literally logged thousands and thousands of hours as they provided support to our school districts as they developed their LCAPs? So today we play many, many different roles in the fabric of public education in San Mateo County. But who will we be tomorrow and the day after tomorrow? Next month? Next year? In 5 years? Our new strategic plan will help us as we develop and implement the answers to those questions.
Okay, so we ready to take off down this track like our little friend here? So we're really, we think we are really well equipped for this journey before us. So before we get into the plan itself, I'd like to give you a quick recap of the past 18 months or so that led us to this point. This really all began with questions and wonderings to guide the really extensive inquiry process that would follow. We knew a few things. The county office had a history and reputation for high quality work, that the LCFF and county funding model and years of flat funding before us meant that we couldn't do everything in the years ahead, so we had to be thoughtful about that road forward. We knew there was value in listening to our staff, to our districts, to our community. We knew that a thoughtful process would lead us to a better place, and that the stakes were high that we get this right. An external facilitator was identified to bring a different perspective, and that was Fern Tiger and Associates, who have really been our close partner throughout this entire process. And really, they brought great expertise to this work. So over the past 18 months, a number of things have occurred. I'd just like to walk you quickly through those. There were over 80 interviews with internal and external stakeholders, and those were kind of done in concentric circles of interviews. So as one round or one group of people were interviewed, and they would say, well, you really need to talk to this person, or what about that perspective? They'd have a different perspective. And so that circle kept widening. The Fern Tiger staff observed board meetings, staff meetings, program meetings in the county office, and professional development. They facilitated 3 San Mateo County Office of Education staff input sessions, conducted an all-staff survey, and convened a 30-member advisory committee. Moving on from there, they conducted 5 interactive sessions throughout the county with clusters of districts, inviting district personnel to come and give their perspectives on the work that we do and what matters most to them about that work. They also traveled around the state and interviewed 10 other peer county offices of education to find out how others have imagined this work differently. They reviewed many, many thousands of documents from our office, conducted research on our county, on the County Office of Education and our history, and pre-K through 12 education nationally. They tracked the media reports through this period and guided the development of our mission and vision statement. As you can tell, this was quite an extensive process that led to a deep set of findings that represent the perspectives of our board, our staff, our districts, and community, as well as the other data points referenced a minute ago. We're excited to share the result of all of that work with you this afternoon.
So as you can see from Gary's description, that was a lot of information to gather and analyze into a cohesive plan. However, after 2 years of intensive work, our new 5-year strategic plan is ready, and we are delighted and truly honored to premiere it here today for you, the very first time anyone has seen it, because you are the people who matter most in making sure that this plan can become a reality. Because we're presenting a lot of information to you today, we also want to be sure you have something to take away for future reference. And as you leave today, you will receive your very own copy of the strategic plan so that you'll have a written version of our presentation. Over the next month, we'll be meeting in small groups to answer your questions and receive your feedback on the plan. So we hope that you'll take some time between now and whenever you're invited to that meeting to read the information that's presented in the copy of the plan that you will receive today. So let's dive into our new strategic plan. Every strategic plan contains a vision and a mission statement. Ours has both, and they have been carefully crafted based upon all the input that we've received. A vision basically describes an organization's hopes and aspirations for the long term. It answers the question, who do we want to be in the future? It's future focused, and it should be bold, purposeful, and short because you want people to remember it. So, what is our new vision statement? Well, here it comes. Excellence and equity in education, every student, every teacher, every school. During the strategic planning development process, 2 words were mentioned over and over and over again: excellence and equity. Those words obviously are playing a very prominent role in our vision. Excellence means that we are continually striving to be the very best that we can be, no matter what our particular role is. We focus on continuous improvement, getting better in everything that we do. Equity is also at the very core of who we are as the County Office of Education. We fervently believe that one of our key roles is to work as hard as we can and in as focused a way as we can to support and expand opportunities for every single one of our county's students. We want each and every one of them to have a truly excellent education. One has only to look at the disparities in school funding in San Mateo County to realize how important this equity issue is. We have a school district in our county where about $23,000 per student is being spent a year. Right next door to that school district is a district where they are spending about $12,000 per year. That is not a representation of equity, and we need to really approach that and do something about it as we move forward. How about our mission statement? What's that all about? Well, a mission statement defines an organization's central purpose in a succinct, easy-to-remember way. It's intended to answer the questions, why do we exist and what do we do? It creates a sense of direction and opportunity, and it states what actions we'll take to achieve our vision. So here's our new mission statement. Inspiring students, investing in teachers, invigorating leaders, and involving communities. We believe that we can achieve excellence and equity in education by focusing on students, teachers, leaders, and communities. But it's going to require us, as the San Mateo County Office of Education, to inspire, invest, invigorate, and involve. And you can see at the bottom of this slide, there's a tagline that has those verbs in it. You're going to start seeing those on all of our collateral that we have as the County Office of Education, because we really want all of us to keep those four concepts in mind. When you have a chance to read through your strategic plan document, you'll see that it also identifies values and core strategies. The values are our core beliefs about how we operate as an organization and are intended to lay the groundwork for the strategic plan. Our value statements include the following. The County Office of Education is committed to excellence, equity, innovation, and integrity as it carries out its work of providing programs and services to students, schools, and districts throughout San Mateo County. The San Mateo County Office of Education works to build and maintain a responsive organization that meets the needs of the broader community. The San Mateo County Office of Education believes that education and related services are essential components of a strong and vibrant community, ultimately impacting the health, well-being, and economic outcomes of all people. And the San Mateo County Office of Education recognizes that quality public education requires stable, sustainable, adequate, and equitable school funding. Those values are our core beliefs about how we operate as an organization. You'll see that the strategic plan also contains what are called core strategies. They're how we're going to go about accomplishing our goals. They include investment. How will we generate and sustain resources? And that's a key question for us at the county office. Partnerships. How will we encourage, cultivate, and build local, regional, and national partnerships? Leadership. How will we become at the county office the go-to resource and the voice of PK to 12th grade public education in San Mateo County? Advocacy. How will we speak out on local and regional issues that impact our county schools? And advocacy. How will we speak out, culture. How will we as an organization embrace continuous improvement as we move forward? And finally, and a very important one, community engagement. How will we inform the community about our county schools, and how will we encourage ongoing community dialogue so that we truly can achieve excellence in education for all of our kids? So that's the 10,000-foot level of the beliefs, values, and strategies that you're going to find in the strategic plan. You're probably sitting in your seats now saying, well, those are great concepts, and that's a wonderful group of words, but how are we going to really work together to make those words a reality? By setting goals. And we have 5 long-term strategic goals and 5 short-term strategic goals to share with you today. The goals are really our roadmap for our path forward. Some are directed inward. They relate to us as San Mateo County Office of Education as an organization, the work that we do, and the way in which we do it. Some are directed outward and set a path for where we want to influence change and produce positive outcomes. As Gary and I introduce you to the goals, please know that they're designed to work in tandem with one another, not in isolation. If you think about the theme for the year, open doors, in a sense our goals are saying that we need to open our doors both to go out into the community and also to allow some fresh perspectives to flow in to help energize us as an organization. So our goals focus on 5 broad areas: successful students, inspired teachers, effective school districts, forward-thinking policies, and continuous learning.
So we're going to start off with the first goal, which is successful students. And this goal is to champion student success by encouraging the development of learning environments and experiences where all students can imagine and achieve. Clearly, students are at the center of everything that we do. Education plays such a central role in all of their lives, and yet opportunities to achieve academic success are not always equal. The county office is well positioned to develop programs to level the playing field in support of equitable student achievement by actively embracing the role of countywide education thought leader, finding new ways to work with vulnerable students, helping districts to provide students high-quality, equitable service, and providing support and resources for college and career.
And the second goal, inspired teachers. Foster an exceptional countywide climate for teachers in the teaching profession by innovatively using resources and by cultivating broad public will to advance the profession. Those of you who are here today who are teachers, together with your colleagues in our county's 23 school districts, are absolutely vital to helping us realize our vision of excellence and equity in education. This is true whether you're an experienced veteran or a relative newcomer. Yet sadly, in recent years, the teaching profession has taken quite a bashing. Teachers are not receiving the respect they deserve, and young people are choosing other professions rather than going into teaching. We don't think that that's an acceptable state of affairs, and we want to work very hard to change it. Our strategic plan calls for supporting teachers. We want to continue as the county office to continue to provide exceptional professional development experiences for those already in the profession, and we want to work together with our local colleges and universities to enhance the pipeline for new teacher recruitment, both at the preschool and the K-12 level. And we certainly want to work through our own induction programs at the county office that once people are in those absolutely critical first 2 years of their teaching or administrative careers, that they're receiving the mentoring and support that really will enable them to be successful. For those of you in the audience today who are paraeducators, we also hope to develop a pathway for paraeducators who are interested in earning a teaching credential because you have a wealth of experience and skill that would translate easily into the teaching career and profession. San Mateo County Office of Education should also play an active role in working with community partners to develop affordable housing for all school employees. Educators and staff members shouldn't have to commute 2 hours to work every day because they cannot afford living in San Mateo County. One way to foster an exceptional countywide climate for teachers is to develop a wide-reaching campaign to promote and value the impact of teachers and the teaching profession, because it really is time that we put the amazing work of San Mateo County's teachers on center stage.
Our third goal is effective school districts to encourage equitable outcomes across San Mateo County school districts through proactive outreach, responsive services, and collaboration. Our districts are diverse, and yet different as they may be, they share commonalities and rely on the County Office of Education as a trusted source for information, resources, and advice. SMCOE will respond to these expectations by ensuring ongoing understanding of district needs and priorities, delivering quick access to information, and showcasing best practices, expanding understanding and cross-collaboration between and among districts and community resources, creating a hub of research, community knowledge, and data to improve local decision-making and spur innovation in our county, fostering district and community dialogue and action to achieve equitable educational outcomes, and building countywide community support for public education. These goals really represent the cornerstone of our work that is around supporting our districts and achieving equitable outcomes for all of our students.
Our fourth goal, forward-thinking policies. Initiate transformative conversations about public education and advocate for effective educational policies at regional, state, and national levels. A really important theme in the feedback that we received from our external stakeholders was their hope that the county office would do more in the realm of advocacy to make sure that our local schools and districts are getting the resources that they need to do the job they have to do. While there are certainly many vocal policy and advocacy groups out there, the voices, needs, and priorities of our local schools and districts can sometimes get lost in the cacophony that is Sacramento and Washington, D.C. The county office, as a county-wide agency, is well positioned to advocate on behalf of our local schools, and we relish the opportunity to do so. And I would weave into that advocacy certainly the whole 0 to 5 population as well. Examples of the types of activities we might undertake in this realm might be launching an advocacy campaign focused on affordable housing for teachers and school staff, and we're actually in the midst of conversation right now to do just that. Developing an annual policy platform, taking a lead role at the state level in framing the educational needs of San Mateo County, and developing community-based advisory committees for major county office programs such as our court and community schools, outdoor education, early childhood, special education, and the STEM Center.
Our fifth goal, our fifth long-term strategic goal, is continuous learning. This goal represents our organizational ethos around inquiry and reflection. In today's world, it's essential that organizations be adaptable and resilient. Just as teachers encourage students to be lifelong learners, so is the County Office of Education creating and cultivating a broad learning community where reflexive inquiry, interconnectedness, curiosity, and even failure are embraced. SMCOE is becoming an agency that can weather continual change by fostering a culture of open and continuous learning, understanding the needs, concerns, and priorities of our stakeholders, developing an organizational self-inquiry process, and that gauges our progress through measurable outcomes. So, that's a lot. Those are 5 really big and ambitious goals that we're very excited about and think paint a very vibrant and dynamic and relevant picture for the role that we'll play in the future. And yet it's a lot. So what are those first steps that we'll take? As excited as we are about those long-term goals, and they are intended to be big and ambitious goals, we also knew that we needed places to start. And so we have 5 short-term strategic goals that will be our entry point. These goals don't describe everything that we'll do, not even the biggest things perhaps that we'll do, but they're important first steps toward enacting the strategic plan that you've just heard about. There will be a great deal of additional work that is built out over the beginning today and over the year, certainly the next year and the years beyond that. And so we'll be describing that process in more detail, but now we'd like to tell you about these 5 short-term strategic goals that will be our first entry point into this work.
Shout out to Bruce and Stacy for that picture. So our first goal is to build an organization-wide culture of continuous learning, collaboration, and excellence. This is our first goal, and it's really important because it's actually an inward one for us as an organization. We want to foster a culture at the County Office of Education where we work together to support and push each other to be the very best that we can be so we can all keep improving our game. For many years, the county office has focused on doing our work within divisions. And while we will still need the expertise that resides in each division, we will need to do much more cross-divisional work. The way in which our instructional and business services staff have worked together on the LCAP over the past couple of years represents an excellent example of such cross-divisional work, and we'll be doing a lot more of that. We also want to work very much on continuous learning, but we need your help in doing that. In the staff surveys and foster groups, we heard consistently that you as staff want more professional development, specifically targeted to you, that will help you improve your existing skill set so that you can do your current job better and so you can seek higher positions within the county office or possibly elsewhere as well. We hope that you'll be willing to join us in designing those types of continuous learning experiences because they're tremendously important to each and every one of us so that we can continue to get better at what we do.
So goal 2 is to advance the profession and value of educators through recruitment, retention, workforce diversity, leadership development, communication, and career-long professional learning. A high priority need in our county is for a diverse, high-quality workforce of educators. From the college and career pipeline in secondary schools, to quality higher education and credential programs, to the support that teachers, administrators, and other educators get as they enter the profession, and the professional development and support that they need to maintain current throughout their career. And those are all essential pieces of this goal, as well as communicating throughout our county about the value and critical role that educators play in our community. This goal addresses really all of those things in the interest of improving educational outcomes for the children and youth of our county through building and supporting a high caliber workforce.
Our third short-term goal, become the San Mateo County hub for data, research, and community resources to promote PK to 12th grade excellence, equity, and innovation. Because our school districts vary so much in size and capacity, they're often not able to sift through all the research and data that's out there to determine which best practices to implement to meet the different challenges that they face. At the county office, we're very well positioned to support them in this way. The growth of our Center for Learning Analytics is a great example of how we can assist our districts with gathering and analyzing data. The CLA began several years ago with 1 employee, has added 2 additional data analysts over the last 18 months, and is getting ready to bring another one on board. This rapid expansion is because of the demand for this expertise. We need to really do a scan of our county's landscape to see what are the other areas where there is demand that we absolutely have the skill set that we can plug into. We also need to adopt similar approaches as we think about how we meet the needs of our local districts. For example, as the philosophy of inclusion has become a major pillar of special education, it has meant that over the last decade, our districts have taken their students back from county programs, and they're trying to meet student needs closer to home. This has meant that our San Mateo County Office Special Education program has diminished in size, and it may continue to do so. My guess is we are always going to be in the market of providing related services and serving the needs of our most fragile students. But we also need to think about the way in which we provide services in special education in a different way, because we're not going to give up on it. What it does mean is that we may need to change our approach. Perhaps we need to think about becoming capacity builders and focus on helping our districts provide the very best programs possible for the students that they have taken back. In that way, the county office becomes a hub for the dissemination of best practices. We need to think about how we engage in such capacity building activities throughout our organizations, and I would challenge you as you think about all of this and kind of reflect upon it, what ways do you think within the arena in which you each work might we think about building capacity for our districts?
Our fourth goal is to develop an environmental education and sustainability initiative to promote environmental literacy and stewardship for all San Mateo County students. The San Mateo County Office of Education has a long tradition of high-quality residential outdoor education, as evidenced by our friends from Jones Gulch. That tradition really spans almost 50 years now. We actually began a process a year or so ago of exploring the broader landscape of environmental education and sustainability. We knew that residential outdoor education experiences were a key component of that, but what other opportunities were there to build environmental literacy in students, to conduct real-world experiences and relate all of that to the next generation science standards, the environment, and the education initiative? At the same time, we were learning about design thinking and conducted a design challenge of key thinkers from within our county and from throughout the environmental education sustainability community. The goal of all of that has been to imagine what this work might look like. So this goal will really be to take that work to scale, to seek input, build on the work that's already begun, and to launch a bold initiative focused on the environment and sustainability.
And our fifth two-year goal, develop and implement a strategic communications plan that connects internal stakeholders and the broader community to the county office's vision, mission, and goals. If we are truly to achieve excellence and equity in education throughout San Mateo County, we must place a high priority on outreach. We need to craft a communications plan that is clear, consistent, and comprehensive in articulating who we are as the county office and where we're going. The strategic planning process revealed that most stakeholders don't really know who we are as the county office or what we do. They're kind of aware we exist, but they're not really sure. So if we're going to continue to be a viable force in public education, we've got to put ourselves forward as a comprehensive, innovative, and effective organization with a wide range of exceptional cross-disciplinary model programs that combine to offer what's needed to achieve equity and excellence in education. We need to let people know who we are and what we do at the San Mateo County Office of Education, and a strategic communications plan will help us do just that.
So, what comes next? That's really where we are. We have a mission and a vision statement. We have 5 long-term goals that you've heard a lot about today, but you'll be able to read more about in the document that you received. 5 short-term goals that will be where we start. That's our path forward, and we're very excited about that path and where it has the potential to lead us. So what comes next? In the next couple of weeks, each staff group will be meeting with your division head, which will really be an opportunity for you to ask questions about this as you've had a chance to reflect on it and think about what we've said today. What does that mean in terms of the work of your program or unit or division? How does it connect? Because really, all of this connects. None of this lives in one place or another. It's all the work that we all do. So that will be the first thing that will happen over the next couple of weeks. Tomorrow morning, in your email, you will receive a schedule of overview or input sessions for each of these goals as well. And that will be an opportunity for you to come if you'd like to hear more about one of these goals in particular and have an opportunity to give some initial input. And from there, you'll also have a link tomorrow morning where you'll have an opportunity to sign up if you'd like to be on a work group that will work over the next 2 to 3 months to really flesh this goal out and build out an action plan that will guide our work over the next year or so moving forward. So we will send this schedule out again, as I said, tomorrow morning. We're really blessed at the county office with some skilled facilitators who will be leading these sessions. So I'd like to give special thanks to these individuals that you see up here who will be facilitating each of those sections. And their job really will be to help guide and facilitate the inquiry of us. This is our work, so what do these look like? What does this look like when we really build it out? So I'd like to extend a special thanks to those folks and to all of our staff and community and district partners who were involved in this process, as well as Fern Tiger and Associates. This really has been a process of deep collaboration and thought. None of these things have been put up here casually. They've really been a source of a great deal of reflection and thinking not just about who we are today, but who we've been in the past and who we're going to be in the future. So we're very excited about that.
So there you have it, our new strategic plan. And Gary and I certainly want to thank each of you for attending today's session. We've appreciated your kind attention and your diligent focus. And please know that we very much are looking forward to working together with you in the months and years ahead to make all of this a reality. I also want to say a very special thank you to Gary, who was the creative force behind putting this PowerPoint together. So my guess is that when you arrived today, you probably parked in one of the Beethoven parking lots. And so we thought, as we send you off today, that it was appropriate to play a little Beethoven and share a video with you. But the thought that I would leave you with as you're watching this video, and then you are, when it's done, free to leave, and be sure to pick up a copy of the strategic plan when you go. It provides a really wonderful example of the power of individuals who come together to inspire, invest, invigorate, and involve. So see what you think.